Okay, thank you everyone for joining today's VMware VMUG virtual session. And this is hosted by VMUG Chandigarh. And along with me, we have a bunch of speakers from VMware, and Pratik and I are the VMUG leaders for Chandigarh chapters. Today's agenda is we'll give a bit of introduction about us and what activity is going around VMUG and VMware news. And from VMware, we have Abhilash and team who will be talking about vSphere Skyline Health Diagnostics. And if you go back to previous slide, Pratik, okay. Then we'll have a bit of Q&A with VMware team. And of course, everyone might have heard about vSphere Plus, which is quite popular and might have not known, might have not had hands-on experience or seen the demo. So we have a speaker from VMware who will be talking about vSphere Plus today. Right, next slide. A bit of housekeeping items. If you're not speaking, please keep your microphone on mute. And feel free to put your questions in the chat session or Q&A section. Pratik and I are moderating the session, so we are going to reply to you. If it requires to ask question to the panel, then we can pass it on to the panel to respond. And also, towards the end of the session, we have a special giveaway. That's VMUG Advantage Pass. I'm not sure how many of you have heard about VMUG Advantage Pass. General VMUG membership gives you certain privileges, access to VMUG community and experts, and attend the webinars like today's session. Whereas VMUG Advantage Pass has a lot more to offer. If you'd like to have your own home lab and have NFR license, evaluation license, you can have that. So that's about VMUG Advantage. And towards the end of the session, based on the activity in today's call, we'll be picking up the winners. Okay, what about VMUG team? Who's the VMUG leaders for Chandigarh chapter? It's Pratik, myself, and Akshay Kalia. Pratik, I'm not sure. I'm sure many of you have worked with Pratik or even known Pratik personally. He's been with VMUG for quite some time in Auckland and in India, in Chandigarh. He's currently the CEO and founder of CloudZai along with me. And he's also a VMUG regional champion for APAC, which means we have a lot more we can get from Pratik, you know. And yeah, so that's about Pratik. I'll let Pratik introduce himself a bit more. A little bit about me. I'm leading VMUG chapter along with Pratik. We conduct sessions quite often. We are now, I think this is our second session for this year, Pratik.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And yeah, so we do a lot of activities around VMUG, and I'm also part of CloudZai. I'm the CTO and founder of CloudZai. And today on this call, we don't have Akshay Kalia present, but Akshay Kalia is our support backbone from VMware side. He'll be guiding us or providing access to any of the information that we need from VMware side, authoritative information from VMware side. So that's Akshay Kalia there. Okay, right, Pratik, next slide.
Yeah, and PPK, before we go ahead, would like to do a bit of my introduction as well.
Oh yeah, sure.
So myself, Pratik Duggal, and wearing few hats at the moment, as Prasanna said, founder and CEO of CloudZai. But for this platform, what it matters is like I'm wearing three VMUG hats at the moment. I'm leading the Auckland VMUG space back in New Zealand. We started a new chapter in Chandigarh, so I'm a VMUG leader for Chandigarh as well, and also holding a kind of a hat for VMUG regional champion for APAC region, which means that I'm it's part of my responsibility to stay connected with all the VMUG leaders across APEC region, whether it's Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, Korea, India, anywhere. And that gives me a lot of opportunity to meet a lot of people, to expand my network, and meet people, super technical people, and leaders across the industry. So very interesting role that is, and maybe in future sessions we'll talk more about it. And later in this session, I'll talk about a podcast we recorded for VMUG. But yeah, priority for today is to understand more from Abhilash and his team about the VMware Skyline Health Diagnostics, and to know more around the community session on vSphere Plus. Over to you, Prasanna.
Right. Yeah, that's good. So there's some unexplored territory that we'll talk about today, right? And yeah, so VMUG Chandigarh team, we were fortunate to be part of VMware Explore that happened in India, in Mumbai, where we met a lot of people, industry experts, architects, and we were able to interact with them and understand how they are leveraging VMUG, and also what they are looking for, as part of VMUG. So that was great event. I'm sure you might have seen a lot of social media posts about VMUG Explore. If you're looking at the screen, Pratik is showing a couple of videos around. We posted the video on YouTube about all the activities that happened in VMUG booth in VMware Explore. So that's quick about VMware Explore. If we go back to the slide. Yeah, there's also VMware Explore happening in Barcelona, and we have representation from Pratik. He is going to Barcelona, and I believe Las Vegas as well, to attend the session. So that's about activity that happened around VMUG and VMware Explore. The main theme about VMware Explore last event was multi-cloud, and it was the largest, biggest multi-cloud event of the year. So that was very exciting to know about what all products VMware is working on, and where the industry is heading in terms of multi-cloud strategy. All right, let me quickly introduce the speakers, today's speakers. Abhilash will be leading the session from VMware. And I know Abhilash from like over a decade now. We have worked together in VMware. We joined probably around the same time, a couple of days apart. And he has, over the years, he has grown to lead as a technical director for VMware support. And also expanded his technical capabilities, not just working on one product, but he has worked on many different products. I guess a subset of the product list is there on screen. Not just that, he is a speaker at various VMware events. VMware Explore, VMworld. Previously, VMware Explore was known as VMworld, so he has presented many sessions there. And in his current role, he's working with Nitin and Rajneesh as part of product management team to improve the support experience, and also all the product enhancements and feedback that they receive from customers. That's about Abhilash. I'll let him talk about something that I didn't say in the slide today, right? When I pass it on to him. And next speaker is from solutions engineering team, Rajneesh. Rajneesh is with VMware probably for a long time. Before Abhilash and I joined, he was there. And in VMware, he's quite popular. He's leading many different initiatives, and in solution engineering, he has a lot of influence. So it's great to have Rajneesh as part of VMUG Chandigarh chapter to present about Skyline Health Diagnostics. So it's great to have you here, Rajneesh. And we have representation from product management as well. Nitin Agarwal is leading the initiatives with Skyline Health Diagnostics from VMware engineering team. any feedback or any improvements and enhancements. So Nitin is the one who is going to prioritize or even decide whether it's going to make it to the product or not, along with his team. So that's great to have Nitin talk to us in our VMUG session today. And we also have a session with vSphere Plus that Bharat is going to talk about. I'll introduce Bharat towards the end of the session once session 1, which is about VMware Skyline Health Diagnostics, is over. Which is very exciting to know about vSphere Plus as well. And I know the importance of Skyline Health Diagnostics. So I'm sure everyone is waiting to know what and how they can use Skyline Health Diagnostics. So I'll pass it on to Abhilash to take it over from here. Over to you, Abhilash.
Thanks, Prasanna.
And I forgot to mention, to ask you, right? So I didn't cover everything about you in the session. So feel free to tell something that we don't know about you, right?
It's fine. I've presented multiple sessions in VMUG community as well, based out of Bangalore. But yeah, this is the first event in Chandigarh. And thanks to Pratik and Prasanna to have us here. So before we kickstart, Pratik, I will share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Cool. So let's get started, right? I would want to quickly have maybe a quick question. How many of you actually know Skyline Health Diagnostics? Just a raise of hands on the chat, or maybe a quick thumbs up would help. Have you folks used it in your environment? I see a couple of hands raised. Cool. So yeah, so for the folks who have already using or who are using it, then we would definitely like to hear from you in terms of how is it even helping, in your environment, and are there any opportunities for us to improve the tool for you as well? And for the folks who don't know, I guess this is one of those sessions that you would want to know as well. I know most of you are part of the support teams. You manage a lot of environments of your own, maybe end customers, running into outages like day 2 operational outages are common things, right? It's, we kind of term it negative, but still it is something that we still undergo. It could be environmental issues, it could be product outages, it could be it could have a variance of things, right? It could start from your data center. I've seen the air conditioning of the data center going bad, and that impacting your entire server and all your clusters. So things can span out in different variants when you say day 2 operations, right? So to talk about what SSD is all about, it is primarily going to help you in day 2 operations. Now, I would want to set some context before we head forward, right? So one thing is, I know most of them have this, understanding of Skyline, which is kind of, confusing as well here and there, where we assume that this is Skyline Advisor. Now, these two are two different products, right? So Skyline Advisor, which we have where we install a collector and then you publish information to VMware, is one type of product. And that is more of a proactive approachability product, right? Where it can predict issues. If I have to give you an example, let's say you are running a specific version of a driver on a HBA in your server, and that particular version of a driver is bound to trigger a PSOD, right? Now, Advisor can help you tell that this version needs to be upgraded, and you're going to run into a PSOD, right? But Advisor cannot do diagnostic checks, as in when you run into a problem, you ran into an outage in your environment. Advisor cannot do diagnostic checks. So that's why we have this product called Skyline Health Diagnostics. Now let's talk about what health diagnostics is all about and how it came through all this while, right? So we will quickly go through the agenda. We will speak about SSD as an introduction, which I've already given you, but we will get into details on how this evolved, how this came in as a product, right? And we will talk about evolution of SSD and a functional architectural model. And then I know most of you are waiting for this live demo, right? I don't know, it is fancy nowadays that everybody wants to see a demo. But yes, we do have a live demo that we will enable you with, and you should have a first-hand experience of how the product works. And we will, towards the end, we will have some Q&A, and then if you have some enablement assistance required, we can definitely do that as well. Let's move on. So to begin with, right? So we started, I don't know, people who were in support might know this, especially within VMware, GS, right? So this was an initial tool that was built for support teams, which was called as GSS Toolbox, right? And, we used to have TAC. So as in when customers, as in you folks, upload logs based on an outage or an issue, it comes to the script server in VMware, right? And there used to be an automated script that runs against these files and then gives the TSCs an analysis of what's going on and then how, what is the status of the issue and things like that. So we kind of double clicked that and enlarged it out, where we joined hands with Rajneesh, Nitin and his team, where product engineering also came in, and then we started, building this thing. The entire product existence is as of today. Now the goal of this entire product is primarily these ones, right? So you definitely have an instant resolution. We will talk about what is a situation without SSD, and we'll talk about how it helps when you have SSD in the environment. We will take that up in the next slide. But the efforts that are reduced is humongous. You will see that the drastic change into the time taken, right? And I'm pretty sure I was doing this research day before yesterday or yesterday overnight. I was preparing some slide. I happened to see that the numbers during a data center outage or a downtime are huge. The Fortune 1000 to close to $3 to $5 billion, right, as an expense when you have maintenance window. And imagine if your maintenance windows are not limited. So you're talking about unplanned, outages where maintenance windows are extended. So you plan for 2 hours, it's going beyond that, right? And you're engaging support. There's a lot of back and forth happening and things like that. So this is our problem statement to any, day-to operations as of today. So SSD kind of plays a role where you're bringing automation in terms of log analysis, right? How can the tool help you review the logs and then give you the output right away in terms of what the problem is? And we'll talk about how it does that. So in an ideal situation, so when you look at how SSD works, and I mean, so if let's take an example. If you don't have SSD, right? So you generally have a case logged in. Prior to the logging a case with support, you might do some research. You might pick up some KVs, review on that, and then if you're comfortable with it, you will execute the solution. If not, you will reach out to support. Now, the ticking time starts right from the outage window to engaging support and the support coming back with a solution for you, right? And we are talking about huge log uploads that happens through FTP side, and then you're waiting back for a response and all of these things, right? So we didn't have a unified way of troubleshooting in terms of how things can be laid over easily, where it helps you as a customer and it helps us as engineers who are resolving the problem as well. We will now talk about how it is changing over when you have SSD in place, right? So let's say as a customer, you encounter a day 2 outage issue and you have SSD installed, right? So this is an appliance that you will install in your environment, right? So once the appliance is installed, you will give the appliance, or you point the appliance to the entity that is reported the outage. Could be vCenter, could be your ESXi host. And then the appliance will do the debugging for you. It will review the logs, and then it will give you the output of what the solution is, right? So we will talk about how is it even pulling these solutions. So as of today, SSD has about 1,800 plus plugins, right? And I'm talking about which is excluding all your pre-checks and health checks that we do, right? So 1,800 meaning all the known product, environmental, all these outside and inside related issues are picked up, and then they are fed inside the tool as signatures. So what SSD will do it will go fetch the logs, review the logs, and it will match the signature within the 1800 list. And then it will tell you, here is what is your solution, right? So resolution is, rather in few minutes, rather than taking, a longer time in exchanging logs and then bringing back updates. Now, let's say if the, signatures are not met. So let's say there could be an instance where, the SSD did not match the signature. In that case, with this SSD report, the TSEs, when you engage with support engineers, it can be more of a easier conversational exchange where the TSE already knows what your site is all about, right? He knows the host name, he knows, your vCenter version, the details of drivers, all of these things. So the support engineer will have a head start of the problem as and when you give this report right away. And then the troubleshooting regularly can continue from there on. Now, what it checks is, one, we have diagnostic check capability, we have compatibility capability as well, and we also have security advisory listing, right? So whatever known vulnerabilities reported in your environment, it will fetch from the database, from security advisory database that we have, and then it will flag it to you that your environment is running this problem. And same goes with health checks. We will double click on health checks in the later upcoming slides, so we'll talk more about how that goes. So moving on to the SSD evolution, right? So we started in the month of May or June 2020, mid 2020s, right? And it was, a little slow, where we kicked in with very less of the signatures. And if you see the growth of where SSD stands as of today with the version 3.5.2, we have a lot of new features available, which we will discuss in the the demo in detail, and which holds a big database of 1800 plugins. That is huge inventory of the thing. So in the previous slide, I also wanted to point out one more good point, right, which is very important as a takeaway for all of you folks, is that the execution accuracy of identifying, we actually have seen about 48% accuracy of SSD identifying issues and giving you the right solutions, right? And we will talk about a little bit of SR and customer data towards the end as well. So what are the new so as I said, SSD is having the version 3.5.2. What are the new features and the product supportability, right? So we'll talk about that now. So the product currently supports vSphere. When I say vSphere, it covers vSphere 6.5, 6.7, 7.0, 8.0 as well, right? So we took 6.5 and 6.7, or the inclusion of 6.5 and 6.7 is still there because we still have some of those customers transitioning or upgrading from those versions to the latest. And the upgrades can be seamless if you use SSD in that case. So we will talk about that. The other products that SSD supports are vSAN, VCF, and EUC, like you're seeing on the screen. There are new features which is mentioned on this column right here. I will walk you through all of these features in the demo slide. So while we go through the actual demo itself, we will review each and every one of those features for you. So remember, I spoke about plugins, right? So apart from the plugins, we do have a lot of pre-checks, which I mentioned earlier. So let's assume that the customer is upgrading from 6.5 to 7.0 or 6.7 to 7.0 or 8.0. Now, we all know the traditional way of doing things is we upgrade vCenter first, and then we move on. With those customers who've got VCS in the environment, we are talking about vCenters in enhanced linked mode as well. Now, with that in place, you're increasing the complexity of too many things in the environment that could fail, right? If I have to pick some examples, your DNS could fail, your DHCP could fail, your NTP could fail. There could be a problem with your Active Directory. There are a lot of things that can happen, during this upgrade itself. So with SSD, what we introduced was, prior your upgrade, your you can do a pre-check with VCF and vCenter where it can validate a list of things for you where it will check box all those things for you that these things are safe and you can proceed with the upgrade, right? And it is a very positive thing that we have seen in terms of resolution in most of the customers. I don't want to pick any names, but we've seen this effectively working in many of the customers' environment where prior upgrade SSD has helped identify those environmental issues, and things were seamless after that. And like I said, if you are sure that this is a smoother upgrade, right, you're ending with within the maintenance window, thus you're not letting go of your downtime extended. So that's the key takeaway of the product itself. So far we have about 37,000 different version downloads from many customers, and about 15K unique customers who have actually adopted SSD in their environment. And this list of customers that I'm talking about includes banking sectors, universities, government sectors, even we have some police department sectors as well who have actually adopted SSD in their environment. So cool. We will move on with some architectural download. And folks, for those of you folks who have any questions, please keep posting it on the chat and we can take it up towards the end. And we'll make sure that those are answered as well. So coming to the architecture now, like I said, this is an appliance. So you'll deploy a virtual appliance in your ESXi host. You see that the appliance is now talking to the vCenter. Now, does that mean that this is tied to the vCenter? It is not, right? So it is a standalone appliance that will be deployed, and then you can engage or connect to any specific vCenter to run the diagnosis for you, right? And it can bring in all the inventory of host, and then you can figure out what troubleshooting you need based on what entity has failed. So we will talk about that more in detail in the demo. Just to give you a high level gist, a very important point here to know as well, right? So this is very important. The reason being, this is a major difference between what Skyline Advisor does and what SSD is capable of as well, right? So if you look at Skyline Advisor, which is the other product that we were talking about, it cannot work without internet connectivity. So all the communications happens through your CEIP, and we do have a read-only access from the support teams, which will be part of your inventory, right? So you'll see a read-only Skyline Advisor user in your inventory as well. So all of those things are not required here in SSD world, right? So all it needs is an appliance getting deployed. If you have an isolated or a dark side environment, it is fine. You don't need to connect to the environment at all or the external internet connectivity at all over CEIP. You can just run SSD offline without any issues. Now, the only option if you're running SSD offline or without internet connectivity is your upgrade will be an offline mode as well, which means you will have to manually download the ISO and then upgrade the appliance to the latest version or the next version. Now, let's also keep in mind that every new patches or new updates are released monthly, right? So we have monthly release cycle for SSD, which updates all the signatures, and new inventory updates are coming in, pre-checks are coming in every month on month, right? So with CEIP enabled, there may be some of those customer environments who think that, okay, I do have CEIP enabled. Does it mean that, is VMware fetching some data from my environment? Absolutely not, right? So the purpose of CEIP is, explained in this slide for you. With CEIP enabled, all you're doing is you're fetching the latest updates on the diagnostic server. It is fetching it from the internet connectivity for you. It is also fetching information from your compatibility guide and also getting information, from the VMware.com for any latest version of images available. Now, the only info that VMware collects is the analytics or the telemetry data, right? Now, why we do this is we want to keep a tab on what signatures are getting executed in your environment, And based on those, we keep a inventory update around what issues needs to be fixed at the back end within the product, right? It could be something wrong with the host where we see too many executions happening for a specific piece sort, and then that is a red flag for us to go back and then fix it within the product for us. So this is a feedback mechanism, but this actually doesn't collect anything from the environment, such as your IP address, your FQDNs or whatnot, right? So all these are not collected. So the product is purely safe. And I think I forgot to tell you guys this, that it's absolutely free of cost. So all it needs is your customer connect portal access where you have your account opened with the support teams, and then you can search for Skyline Health Diagnostics and download the product absolutely free.
Yeah, Abhilash, just for everyone's knowledge, what if you can talk about CEIP, what full form is and where they can enable or disable that, join or
Yeah.
that.
So thanks, Prasanna. So we'll,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to break the ice right away.
Yeah.
I stopped it there because I have a full demo where
Okay,
we talk
great,
about
great.
CEIP
Okay,
in
sounds
detail.
good, sounds good. We'll wait for that then.
Yeah. So now we covered this, right? So we cover 6.5, 6.7, 7.0, and 8.0 as a product. VCF is covered, vSAN is covered, and some of the features are here, which we will talk in detail in in the later slides or the demo session. Nitin, Rajneesh, do you want to cover, touch base, anything on the roadmap here? Any highlights that you want to cover up?
Maybe Nitin, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I think Abhilash has already tried to cover most of the parts. So what we like to do is this has, so Skyline Health Diagnostics is moving in a direction where this will become a unified platform, right? We want this to be a unified platform for any VMware product, so that customer can come to a one single interface. They can diagnose the issues, they can detect the issues, they can do the troubleshooting. And going forward, the experience will be you come to this portal, you try to do the diagnosis on your own, because it saves a lot of time for you. And if you are satisfied, you go ahead with the recommendation. If you are not satisfied, then we will help you to go ahead and open the SR. So that's the advanced stage we are looking at, right? And there are many more enhancements that are going to come. For example, right, when we are detecting the issue, we are also going to provide you a remediation script, right? We expect that it to work, but if it doesn't work, then you will have an opportunity to clone that script, modify and change it as per your need. And then again, you have an opportunity to upload it so that you can, socialize it on, in the platform, so that whoever else is using this platform, they can use it, right? So that way you keep getting thumbs up, thumbs down, right? And people can start using your plugins, right? Your scripts that you have written. So it's basically write once, and you can share if you want to. If you don't want to share, fine, you can keep it private to yourself and no one else will be able to see it. So that's the direction we want to take, right? And even in the troubleshooting, as we proceed further, what we are going to do is, if you want, you can have the multiple steps in the troubleshooting just to check what's around that particular area, what's around that particular issue, what kind of dependencies have broken, right? So these are all the future roadmap that are going to come. And if you see overall, we have already added 1800 plus plugin, right? So in our overall last 2 years, we started with just 3 customers. At that time, we have just 200 signatures residing over there. But in the last 2 years, with great adoption, the love, and the help that we got from customers, we were able to add 1800 signatures so far. And we are trying to make the life of VI admin, especially the VI admin, easier, because doesn't matter what kind of environment you are dealing with, be it a small, be it a big, or be it medium. The only problem, the first challenge that comes to VI admin is what is the issue, right? And then why it is happening and what is the remediation. So this tool is precisely just trying to address that. We are trying to help as much as possible so that we can rightly detect the issues at your site and help with the remediation. And already we have already integrated it into the vSphere client. with vSphere Plus, this will also be available as a cloud service, so that it becomes seamless. So you don't have to wait. Probably in future, if you are in vSphere Plus or any cloud service which is provided by VMware, you will be seamlessly able to get all the operations, all the supportability, all the diagnostics experience very unified and seamless, right? So that's the direction we are heading, and all these things that I have talked about will come in small MVPs, right? Because that's how we work. So we will not be able to commit any ETA, but as and when the features will become available, will try to release it in our SSD release. Yeah, over to you, Abhilash. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks,
one
Nitin.
quick question
One.
here, Nitin.
Yeah.
So as you said, you will be I mean, whatever extra products you'll be adding to the portfolio, you will keep updating that in some release notes. But
Yeah.
would that go to the compatibility metrics as well? Can
So
we
as
check
a
it there?
Yeah, good point, Pratik. So we are not adding that it to a compatibility matrix. So we'll start doing that. So what
Mhm.
we have done recently, again on as a part of other customer requests, what we have done is we have added a documentation page. So you can, if you look at our documentation, you can go to a section called support and compatibility. So there you can see what are the versions we are listing. Right.
Okay.
So we'll do that soon. Yeah, it's a valid point. Good ask. We have to do it. As we
Yeah, because
proceed probably
that's
to a
easy.
4 or yeah, that's easy. I know
Would be.
because it's a central place for everyone
Hmm,
to go and check, right?
hmm.
Yeah, I completely agree. We will do that soon, Pratik. Point
Okay,
taken.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nathan.
So
Thanks,
just quick
Nitin.
question. Is
Yeah.
this going to be complement to my existing observability and say my existing monitoring slash syslog system that already has some signatures and recommendations that it's providing, or it's getting some more additional data that may not be just based on syslog or performance stats that I can extract from VMware products that through open APIs?
Yeah, again, a great question, Prasanna. So basically, the idea is right to provide value for each and every type of customer environment, right? So sometimes the customer environments are so small, and there you don't expect the customer to spend a lot, right? But still we want to help them. So that's where the independent standalone SSD environment will help. If customer environments is ready to spend or customer is ready to spend, want more detailed and live kind of diagnostics, observability, operations monitoring, then yes, you have to go ahead and spend a little bit more so that that experience can become integrated, right? uh, just to tell you, right, because we are also going forward and seeing how we can integrate an experience, like if you are doing the SXL LCM activity, right, rather than waiting to see, like host has failed, why it has failed, then I will go ahead and upload a log which is taking 4 hours of time. Can I do it live? Okay, and can I quickly give you that feedback saying that your host upgrade has failed because of XYZ thing, right? So that
Got
you
it.
can go ahead and fix it. So yeah, obviously, if we want to do that, then yes, there is some cost associated with it, and it all depends on what kind of packs you purchase, what kind of enterprise level agreement you are purchasing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good.
But we
Thanks for
we
answering.
want to give this value to each and every customer, no matter what. Just that what kind of pack you purchase, the value will differ based on that. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, no, that's good to know. Right now I see we have 31, 32 participants. I'm sure many of us didn't know about these, so it's great that you're able to tell this. And yeah, I'll continue, Abhishek. Yeah, Abhilash, sorry.
Thanks, Nitin. Thanks, Prasanna.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll just move on with a live demo here. Just give me one sec. Hope you guys are seeing my screen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So as we know, this is a usual day two operational scenario that we see. A host is not responding. Okay. Now the beauty of SSD is this, right? So it can still work even if the host is unresponsive. Let's say host D is offline or VPXA is offline, as long as we have SSH to the appliance, I mean to the ESXi host or the vCenter appliance available, it can still connect and then gather logs and then do the diagnostic check, right? So We will use this as an example with this environment, and then we'll see, how SSD can help us troubleshoot, right? So let's start with a quick deployment, right? So we all know how do we deploy an OVA. So like I said, if you log on to the Customer Connect portal, you'll see two files, rather three files. You will see an install and upgrade guide. You will see a OVA download, image download, and you'll also see an ISO image as well. So the ISO image is always used for offline upgrades. Prasanna spoke about in the CEIP, the Customer Experience Improvement Program. So we will talk about CEIP in detail. I will take you to the tab, and then we'll talk about how it's going to help and what you do from there, right? Now with offline, so let's say you're not connected over internet and you're disconnected, you're working offline, you would need the ISO image for the upgrade, and let's keep that in mind. For the first time upgrades, you will always need a OVA. Now I've downloaded the OVA. The latest version available is 3.5.2. All I do is point it out to the host. So we will give a name here. And I'll pick the host that is connected. Let's go next. And I mean, it is pretty simple in terms of, I know you folks might have deployed multiple OVA appliances in your environment. This is simple until the last page. I mean, it's not complicated there as well, but a couple of points to keep in mind. So we will choose, you can choose 10 provisioning. You can pick up storage which has available space. Any network should be fine, virtual machine network. And then here is where you need to keep a couple of things in mind. So you have two things being asked. One is your root password. This password would be your Photon OS appliances password, right? Now SSD, when you deploy, it is getting deployed as an appliance, but you have a Photon OS that is running at the back end, and then you have the SSD script that runs on the front, right? So that's how it is packaged. Now you enter the password for the Photon OS for the first option there, and the second one that you see is the SSD-admin. Now this is the standard, the administrator account that will come as in when you deploy SSD appliance for the first time. So it is asking you that password as well, right? So you enter this. So once this is done, you can give a host name, let's say demo 345. And you can enter the IP address if it is a static IP, and leave it blank if it is DHCP. And this CEIP option, so if you do not want to join the Customer Experience Improvement Program, you can disable it right here. We have an option within the appliance as well, which we will see on how to disable it. And if this is enabled, what features are there? We will talk about it in the the management tab that we have, right? So we'll get there and we'll talk about that more. So we'll click finish, and voila, I think we will be done deploying the appliance, right? So we'll not wait until the appliance is deployed. I already have one. So let's say your appliance deployment is completed. You power on the appliance. It will power it up. It will load all your CentOS is what runs behind Photon OS. Once the CentOS is loaded, everything is done. Your SSD scripts start executing automatically. It does not need any manual intervention. Once the appliance is fully loaded up and you have the IP address, all you need to do is copy the IP and then put it on the browser. You will land into the SSD management page. So you log in with the appliances account, which I said, the SSDFN account. And once you're here, you will see the screen, right? So we are running version 3.5.2 now. So we will go through the management phase on what are the different options we have, and then how you can use SSD effectively, right? So like we spoke, we support vSphere. So you can connect to ESXi host, you can connect to vCenter. directly as well. It is not tied to any vCenter. You can connect to any number of vCenters as long as the network is, connect. I mean, the vCenters are available over network to your SSD appliance. So we will try to see if we can get to this vCenter. So this is my vCenter appliances FQDN. I will publish it there, and then I will give the username. And now remember, I spoke about if your appliance, your vCenter appliance is offline, the services are crashed, you can still check the box and then you can connect to your VC if your VC is offline as well, and then gather, diagnosis what's happening with your VC as well. All you need to do is check that box and then you can move on. So now I'm just going to connect to the host or the inventory of the VC itself. And then we say run diagnosis, you will see this. So I'm seeing the ESXi host, which is disconnected. And then I can pick and choose what type of executions I need. Let's say I only need diagnostic plugin executions. I can choose this, or I need security advisory, vSAN, compatibility guide, or vCenter health checks alone. I can pick and choose whatever I need, right? So I click on validate. I'll give the report name here. And then since the host is disconnected, you will have to enter the root credentials for the host. So it's going to connect over SSH. And then once you click on finish, it's going to start this diagnosis. So once you finish the diagnosis, the reports are seen right here. So this is your report that you would see. Now, this report, what's happening with this workflow, right? Let's quickly touch base on this. So SSD is connecting to your ESXi host. It's generating the log bundle. It will download the log bundle from the ESXi host to the SSD appliances temp/temp folder or /temp directory, right? So once the logs are there, it will extract it, validate the log, run the diagnosis, and then it'll give you the report. So post the diagnosis is done, it's not going to retain the logs for you. As a standard practice, the security, we wanted a full protected, way of how the appliance can work in the customer's environment, even without losing a speck of customer's data, right? In that way, we don't retain any logs. So the logs are right away removed or discarded right from the temp folder, and we only publish you the reports of what we see, right? And that's the feature. Now, once you complete this report, you can also go to show reports tab right here, expand this option, and then pull up, depending upon what type of diagnosis you have done, you can pick and choose the report from here, and then you can save, save it as HTML, and then you will see the reports getting saved right away. Now, going back to the analyze tab, right? So remember I spoke about you're upgrading a VC, you want to do a pre-check for your vCenter appliance prior upgrade. You can connect to your VC right here, and then it will do a lot of pre-checks in your appliance and outside the environment as well, which we will go through in the use case scenario discussion. And it is making sure that you are safe in terms of moving ahead as an upgrade. And that's the beauty of the appliance, one of the feature with vCenter pre-check availability. And let me, I would really want to take the pride on, thanks to Rajneesh and Nitin, all the, great work that the engineering team has done, right? So with 6.5 and 6.7, we had a lot of customers. Two products actually went EOGS right away, right? When I say end of general support, it's a big thing for customers. So we started seeing a spree of upgrades happening to the latest version. And this tool did help a lot of customers in terms of validating the upgrade is smoother so that their environment is not broken, and taking them to the next level. And we had a huge good feedback in terms of how this helped these customers as well. Same goes with vSAN health check. You can enter the credentials of your vSAN vCenter here, and then it'll run health check in the same fashion. Same goes with your Cloud Foundation appliance also. Now, talking about upload log bundles. So remember I spoke about you can use SSD appliance in an offline state or with a no internet connectivity state at all, right? So this is one of the add-on features with that, where let's say you do not want to expose logs from a specific location outside. Let's say you have a dark side environment, you are restricted in a way that you are not supposed to install SSD in that environment as well. Now, SSD is installed in a dev setup, let's say, I mean, or a management node setup, and then you have a isolated environment where you want to troubleshoot what's going on with some of the outage that happened very recently there, right? So in that case, all you need to do is have a remote, FTP site located in your dark side, which is having all the logs uploaded, and SSD can pull in the logs from a different site and then have you diagnose what is the problem with that particular entity and give you the debug analysis of what happened. So I can remotely log in, or I can have the log file locally. So I have it in my laptop right now. I can pick and choose what is the file, and then and still run the diagnosis offline as well. So you can live connect to the environment, or you can do diagnosis offline also. So that's the beauty of the product. Now, moving on, right? So this is where we talk about the management of SSD more of, right? So with upgrades, like I said, if you have CEIP enabled, all you need to do is click on check tool updates. This is updated. This is the latest version available. If there is a latest version, in the public side available for you, it will populate right here. All you need to do is reboot the appliance based on your maintenance window availability. The appliance will auto reboot and install the script without any manual intervention, right? So, this is not possible when you have CEIP disabled, because it's not going to fetch any new ISO or images that are there in the internet with an external connectivity, and you will have to manually push upgrades offline or through the ISO image. Now, you can also do or validate VCG, the compatibility guide database update as well. And it can tell you when was the last time it got updated and what is the status, right? So Nitin also spoke about registration on vSphere client. This was another feature that we went and asked. This was one of the asks from one of the customers who came up and were asking, can we include this in a single space, right? Why should I go to a different page, do the administration, and then come back to my vSphere client again here, right? So let me just quickly see. Okay, so this we see is not being, so I'll have to do a cleanup here. So generally, if you see, here is how you will see this is the old appliance that's there, right? So you will see Skyline Health Diagnostics in this way. So all you need to do is register, your vSphere plugin with your vCenter credentials, your username and the password, and then you say submit. It's all you need to do is refresh, this page from vSphere client, and you can start the analysis of your appliance right from here. So you can say new diagnostics, diagnostic check, and you can still run diagnosis through this space, right? So the execution is still happening onto the appliance right here. However, it is just a plugin that exists inside your vCenter inventory, so that the user experience is, just a one common space view and then executing, the appliance right away. Right. Let's move on. I do see a lot of questions. Rajneesh, I hope you are looking into them.
Yeah, that's right, Avi.
Thank you, sir. So configurations, we don't allow customers to touch this unless there's a use case around what is the problem. It could be, your inventory is too big and then you want to edit some of the timeout values to increase then your SSD to weight. That's when we get into the space. But you can go through the description of what we have here, and then it is self-explanatory of what are the options available. We generally leave it at default, right? We don't edit this. Notifications, this was a recent feature that we got where we can send report notifications to an admin over SMTP, if this is configured successfully. Proxy settings, you can enable this, and then you can use a proxy server, and then use SSD along with your proxy as well. With user management, I want to touch base on one quick thing, right? So like I said, SSDF and admin is the default administrator account. You can add local users into this, or you can also add external Active Directory users as well, from your AD portal. So that is also possible. So coming back to this, point to CEIP, right? Customer Experience Improvement Program. So you can still disable this from here. So if you are a customer who do not want to allow anything outside, all you need to do is click on joined, and then you click on leave. It will disconnect from the external internet right away. Now, what is capable from CEIP is listed right here, right? So it is going to pull some of those information that is required for upgrades, some diagnostic check upgrades that are there, and new patches, and all of these things are pulled from the external site. And like I said, the only information that we collect is some telemetry data, right? So this is the sample collection data that we do in terms of what executions are done, what plugin executions are going on within your environment. And that's the only information that we collect. And this does not have anything related to your IP address, your FQDN, and whatnot, right? That's not the thing that we do. Now, if you want to join back in again, you say join program, and then you're back online, right? So that's how easy it is. Now, resetting the password, here is where you do for SSDF and admin if you want to reset the password. Help and support. I would want to double click and then make sure I have your attention here as well. So since this product is free of cost, this is more of a community-based support tool, right? So however, it's not that we don't assist you. We have had instances where we have raised cases for hand-holding installations and then troubleshooting issues, right? So it shouldn't be a problem. But however, we have an active Skyline Health Diagnostics VMTN channel, the community support channel, where myself, Rajneesh, Nitin, and all the other engineering leaders are there participating in this. And you can also drop your emails if you have any concerns with the product to this email address, along with the bundle of the appliance. So it's hardly like a couple of MBs, right? So that's how fast it downloads. Once you have these two, if you have some concerns, you can reach us out to these forums. Right. I think we spoke about pretty much a lot of things. One last thing which I would want to cover is also the API Explorer, right? So we do support external APIs wherein customers, we've enabled a couple of partners here where they have included log extraction and other things through their internal sites, and then having SSD helping them debug the logs for ESXi, vCenter, or whatnot. So there is a long list of APIs that are available in support right here as well. So moving on to the actual use case on how the report looks, right? So this is how a standard report would look like. It will show you the findings. You can click on errors, info, warning. It will give you what are those numbers listed. Now, what you're seeing at is, or you're looking at, is the VCF health check report that we ran. Like I said, prior upgrading your VCF environment, you can validate a lot of things in terms of pre-checks on validating if your environment is good enough to upgrade or not. Now, I'll give you a classic example here, right? So VC ring topology status. Every time you deploy VCF, your management domain is deployed, and then you're doing your workload domain, your vCenters are always in ELM, enhanced linked mode, right, by design. Now, not many customers know this, that is one. And the second thing is, if there is a network or some outage happened in the environment and the replication between these two nodes are broken for some reasons, right, your upgrade will potentially fail at the VC stage, right? So prior to this, the exercise would be run SSD, then it can validate for you that the ring topology is fine. It can do a lot of other checks. I mean, I just gave you one example. So it can check, validate for certificate expiry status, disk usage space status, NSX health controller status, NTP, ping connectivity, a lot of things. All these things are the ones that it does, right? And it will flag you with any concern. So if you see, so these ones are the ones that are called out as red, which means there are some errors, looked upon. So all you need to do is come down here and then flag the red, and it will give you more detailed information of what was the challenge here. So if you see, there are a couple of hosts, not reachable in terms of, SSH connectivity, and it was failed, right? So this is one of the requirement in the previous versions of VCF, that it was requiring the SSH connectivity to be available. So such issues are right away flagged even before, you run an upgrade, right? And have an extended outage window, and then you're troubleshooting during the maintenance window, right? So this is one example. Moving on. So this is your vCenter upgrade pre-check, VC underscore UPC. Here also we do a lot of free checks in terms of DNS, DHCP, lookup server validation, certificate replication check if there is a PAC replication enabled, disk usage check. All of these are done part of your pre-checks. And if there are any red alerts, it's going to give you the solution along with, so let's scroll down here. So there you go. So anything in red will give you what is the problem, and it'll give you the KB number for the solution also, right? And you can take it up with the problem and then address it right away. So we will now, what we spoke about are pre-checks, right? We will talk about real scenarios. So let's say we have an outage in your environment, an uplink went down and nobody knows, right? All are complaining that my VM is down. Somebody's complaining that my host is down, but we really don't know what happened. Now through SSD, you can actually figure out, here that the link status is down, which uplink has gone down, and then it is actually reading through the logs that the uplink was down, and it'll give you the timelines and the timestamp as well, right? And it'll give you the solution as to what needs to be done next, right? So this is for network. Now let's see this, the most, complicated component of all, PSODs, right? So debugging PSODs has become an easier thing with SSD, right? With SSD, it does debug off your PSOD right away. It analyzes your backtrace core dump, and then, and then it'll give you the result. In this case, it is matching the signature that there was an IGBN driver that has a race condition due to which there was a PSOD, and the fix is that you need to upgrade to the latest driver, and the KB is right there. So think about the time taken, right? So you run into a PSOD, you give the PSOD logs to the TSC, and they do the analysis. Your upload, you're talking about the log upload time taken as well. All these are chargeable as in when we say downtimes, right? So this is a couple of minutes solution that we're talking about. So additionally, we all know, right? 503 vCenter failure. Nobody knows why it happens, but it is all caught in the logs, and you definitely need a troubleshooting engineer to go through what's going on. So without engaging support, you can actually look into the root cause of the thing with the KB solution as what is going on with the service crash. And it will also tell you the status around how many times, the VC was crashed and things like that. So this is another vCenter example as well. Now, we've also seen, compatibility check related issues, right? Drivers not updated, firmware not updated, and those having problems. So with SSD, you can actually validate if the driver is not latest, and it will tell you, what is the latest driver available, and then you can download and install it into your system. So anything that is supported and updated will show you as supported as well. Now, additionally, we also do a lot of, we scroll down. security advisory checks, right? So this is another space that we flag in any security vulnerability issues, and then it publishes the solution for you in terms of the severity as well. And then you can take your, maybe talk to your group inside your your admin group, and then take it towards a fix with whatever versions available. So these are some classic use cases of how SSD can help, right? And how can you enhance your customer support experience, with automation at hand and the power of automation right inside your environment. So that brings us the end of the demo, and we will soon kick into the slides back in again. Hold on a second.
Thank you, Abhilash.
Give me 1 second, folks.
Want to share a few more slides?
Yeah, just last one there. So just last thing, I will share the slides with Prateek and Prasanna. We have some informative resources available, download information. And if anybody is requiring assistance in terms of installation as well, do reach out to me. You have my email address available as well through the chat. I can put it on the chat window for you folks. We can help you with the install as well to your sites. And if you need any assistance, do let me know. So these are some customer data in terms of deflection. When I say deflection, how fast the issue was resolved, right? So this is an SSD on cap accounts where we reviewed around 39% of issues could be resolved if SSD was used. And these were the category of issues that SSD could detect, right? And I would just skim through. I know we are running short of time, but I would want to skim through this as well, where we found out that 65% of install upgrade issues could be solved just by using SSD as well, right? So these were some data analysis that we did, which would help you as a customer to enhance the support experience. Rajneesh, Nitin, anything that you folks want to add before we close?
No, sir. Perfect. I think Abhilash, I think you covered everything, and then I think a lot of good questions, I think, which I'm trying to answer. So let's maybe cover the other presentation, and then if we have any online questions, we can take it. Otherwise, we'll
Sure.
keep responding into the chat box. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
sure,
Thanks.
sure.
Thank you, folks.
Yeah, just one
Thanks.
question here. So,
Yeah,
so
sure.
guys who are using it, right? I will request, please try to download SSD and see if it can help you for your day-to-day troubleshootings. If there are any gaps, right, you can just shoot us an email or contact through Prasanna and Prateek here, sorry, and they can help us get your requirements heard, right, and we will try to put that item in our roadmap and try to deliver in the upcoming releases. So let us know what you feel, what are your pain points, what gaps you have, right? And we are happy to listen and work on it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Nitin, Rajneesh, and Abhilash. Actually, that was a very, very good demo I've seen so far. Very nicely explained, Abhilash. Your team has done like really nice job there, putting all those values there. So the way you have made it easy for the community members today, I'm sure SSD is also on the right path, making things easy for all the VMware administrators. So I have experienced that myself, wherein you're supposed to manage a VMware environment, but you don't know where to start. So SSD is free. So even I would request everyone to download SSD, test that in your dev environment, and also in your production as well. And for any issues you experience, yes, you can connect with myself or Prasanna. VMUG leaders are also part of VMware CTO ambassador program. So anything we have to route to VMware, we have multiple options available there. And anyways, after this session, we know where to go. Abhilash, Nitin, and Rajneesh, they are our go-to person. So without further ado, here I would definitely will take few Q&A at the end of the session, but now I will request Bharat to take over, and let me quickly share my screen. Ta-da. Can you guys see my screen here?
Yes, Pratik.
Okay, give me a
Yes.
moment.
Yeah, we see Windows.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Windows,
let me take it here. Is it fine now?
Your slides are coming up.
Yes.
Slider.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, bit about Bharat actually. Bharat Shendre, he's a senior consultant at VMware. Uh, we met each other a few weeks back, wherein Bharat approached and he wanted to know more around what we guys are doing around VMUG, Chandigarh especially, and that's where we got an idea that hey, we can do a session on vSphere Plus as a community session here, and that's more or less like a teaser today. But if our community wants to know more about vSphere Plus, we can anytime jump in and ask Bharat to share more insights around vSphere Plus. So Bharat, I would request you to introduce yourself to the community members, because you are doing a lot of blogging. You're working with VMware, and you have worked with multiple customers already, although you are new to VMware. But yeah, again, over to you. Give your introduction, and then we'll share a few more insights about vSphere Plus.
Hey, thank you so much, Pratik. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear.
yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon also. Again, after a Power Pack session and a demo from SHD team, yep, I'm here to talk about vSphere Plus. But firstly, thanks to Pratik, PPK, and Akshay for giving me this opportunity to speak at VMUG Chandigarh. I'm really excited to be here on the other side, right? Because I've always been to VMUG, events or community as an attendee. So I'm on the other side now. So feeling excited and really happy to share my experience with the VMUG community here and would like to contribute more. So thanks for that. And a quick introduction about myself. So you've not heard about me. So I have over 13 years of experience in total, and last 1 year I'm with VMware. So working here as a senior consultant in the multi-cloud space for the professional services arm. And here we are delivering projects for our enterprise customers across the geos. So we help them do the consulting, implementation, as well as walk through the custom requirements that they have for our VMware suite of products. Could be ARIA or the vSphere vSAN suite. And so far with my tenure at VMware, I've worked with multiple premium customers and several industries here, ranging from healthcare, retail, and finance. So but most of my experience in last 1 year is with vSphere Plus a product where I've deployed and delivered this for one of the largest retailer in the US. So um, I'm gonna share my experience about that, and I've also started blogging and contributing to the VMTN community recently, and I feel happy doing that, sharing my experiences. Yep, that's pretty much about myself. So like we said, we wanted to introduce vSphere Plus and with this short session. So let's try to understand what vSphere Plus is quickly. But before I go there, just a quick check on how many people have heard about vSphere Plus or already have that in your organization or planning to implement, right? So pretty good number, yeah. Thanks, Ravi. So you guys might already be aware of what vSphere Plus is offering. So here a quick introduction for that, right? So I'm gonna first throw some buzzwords, right, about vSphere Plus, and then I'm gonna pick a few topics and talk about them. So when we heard about vSphere Plus, it's all about subscription model, right? And the keyless entitlement, the cloud gateway, the centralized management, the reduced downtime upgrades, desired state configurations, the cloud console, admin services, the DevOps services, cloud consumption interface, the add-on hybrid cloud services, and stuff like that. So let me quickly share a couple of links that I posted before, maybe just for because we've not prepared slides for this particular session. But yeah, I
Yeah,
can have those
Bharat,
links.
do you need cloudvirtues.wordpress?
Oh no,
The-
I
the-
think I posted a couple of links before, Pratik. Let me share them.
Sure.
So that's a few links that we can look at while I'm speaking about vSphere Plus. The first one is actually where one of them can start their vSphere Plus product journey by signing up at the VMware Cloud Console. That would be a go-to place. And the other is the vSphere Plus documentation and how do we get started, right? So yeah, that requires a sign in, but yeah, with your organization account, you would be able to get in there and look at all the different cloud services that VMware is offering on the cloud console, where vSphere Plus is also part of it, right? I think we can have the other link, Pratik.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Thank you. So, of course, we've all heard about subscription, right? So, um, uh, of course, in today's days, we've already, subscribed to a lot of different kinds of OTT platforms. Could be Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Hotstar, right? So that's the go-to model in these days, and you pick up the public clouds as well. They are offering the subscription-based model. Could be AWS, Azure, Oracle, IBM, right? So VMware also wanted to help enterprises who are still on-prem, to kickstart their cloud journey. And on that path, VMware has introduced vSphere Plus last year. So this is the offering coming from vSphere Plus to help onboard the on-prem customers to start their cloud journey, right? So how do we do that, right? So it's all with a subscription-based model, and like I said, the keyless entitlement, right? So there's no keys required anymore like we had in the previous licensing models. So this would be an hassle-free keyless entitlement solution. And of course, we might be already tired about renewing the licenses or getting close to the license and renewals and having faced issues with that in the past. So all those can be resolved with this particular offering, vSphere Plus. So vSphere Plus, again, it would be a centralized management. Like I said, you can probably think of enhanced link mode, right, where you used to collate all of the vCenters in a ELM pair and try to monitor or have a single pane of glass to look at your vSphere environment. But it comes with a lot of its own challenges with in terms of upgrading with the SSO domain, the security issues, right? So that's not a solution as such. So with VMware vSphere Plus, you're gonna add all your on-prem vCenters to the cloud console and convert to a subscription-based model. And from there, you would be able to monitor your whole of your infrastructure. So how does this happen? With the help of a cloud gateway. So this is nothing but a simple appliance that we deploy in your vCenter, which is actually the connectivity between your on-prem data center and to the VMware cloud. But again, not to worry, this particular gateway will only collect minimal data, that is required for you to look at the VMware Cloud Console and this particular data is being stored with VMware, and we're not going to use this for any marketing purposes, right? So that's one thing about the cloud gateway. And I was talking about the a very good feature that's come up, introduced with vSphere Plus. So it's a reduced downtime upgrade. Of course, this was firstly introduced with VMC on AWS, where the vCenter upgrades have been reduced from 30-40 minutes to like 2-3 minutes, right? So the only downtime required is when you're switching the services from your old VCSA to the new one. So that's another exciting feature with vSphere Plus. And another feature could be like desired state configuration. And for the folks who use the vCenter profiles already, right? So you might be aware that this is to ensure all the vCenters in your infrastructure adhere to a desired or a defined configuration. So with the DSC, we can also export profiles in a JSON format and import it to the other vCenters. That way you can have a streamlined or a desired state without any configuration drifts, right? And there is also things for the DevOps services, DevOps teams basically. So we can have the TKG service where it allows developers to manage their Kubernetes clusters, and it could be the TMC, transmission control services, where the developers will be able to manage their TKG clusters for troubleshooting and stuff like that. So that's another offering. And it also comes with the Tanzu integrated service, right? So there's a streamlined deployment again. And I think another great feature that could be leveraged is add-on hybrid services, hybrid cloud services. So when you sign up for vSphere Plus on VMware Cloud Console, it not only offers just vSphere Plus, right? So as an add-on, you would be able to have a capacity plan optimization planning with the help of Virlize cloud, Virlize operations or ARIA operations for cloud for all your capacity needs and capacity planning. And there's also something for disaster recovery, right? With the VMware Cloud Disaster Recovery Solution. So that's the DRAAS solution that I'm talking about. And lastly, the
Bharat, just a
ransomware
quick
protection.
question.
Sure,
there's a
sure,
question
yeah.
in
Okay.
chat. I'm not sure you saw that.
Yeah, vSphere
You want to
is which
elaborate that
type
a
of
little more?
cloud service? Yeah, Rishi, if you can elaborate more on what is the actual need that you're looking at. Of course, vSphere Plus is a cloud offering, so it's available on the VMware Cloud Console. And once you've subscribed to that, you would be allowed to connect your organization with the vSphere Plus service, and then you would be able to onboard your vCenters after deploying the vCenter Cloud Gateway.
Okay,
If that
just
doesn't answer your
quick.
question, Rishi, maybe you can.
I mean, I guess is this is this hosted within my enterprise data center, or am I are the servers hosted somewhere else, or should I have to rent and a data center somewhere else and then connect to cloud service? How is this set up?
Oh, of course, there is no change needed at all, right? So to enable vSphere Plus, because your on-premises VMs would be running on-prem
Okay.
as it is, and you can also have your AKS clusters in Azure and the Amazon EKS, right? So those can be also added as a
Got it.
part of your inventory. So we are not changing anything. The only thing that is required is to have a cloud gateway within your environment, wherever your vCenter sits ideally, probably in the same subnet, to avoid latency. That's the only requirement, right? And we're not changing anything. That's the key feature of vSphere Plus.
Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, I'll let you
Yeah, and
continue.
any
Sorry.
questions? Yeah, I think I've covered most of the features, like actually the salient features of vSphere Plus that comes with it, and there's a lot more we can of course go on with the detailed architecture. How do we deploy the cloud gateway, how do we onboard, how do we convert the licenses, and how do we create configuration, desired configuration to avoid configuration drips, right? So yeah, we can get onto that. I think there is a question from Ravi. Yep, I think Ravi was the one who raised the hands. You're right. Thanks, Ravi.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot, Bharat. Was a wonderful session. I would say it was not at all a teaser. You actually explained a lot of things, and very good questions from the community members as well. I see here that if anyone, I mean, if any enterprise customer wants to experience the multi-cloud journey from you using vSphere Plus, there's a free trial subscription also available. So I think
Yep.
that's the way to start with the vSphere Plus, and definitely, Bharat, I'll give you more feedback on the session. If community will be interested to know more around vSphere Plus, we'll do a dedicated session around
Yep.
vSphere Plus if required in future.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah, I'm
Pratik.
sure the teaser
Thank you.
was just a preview as to what vSphere Plus is. I guess there's a lot more as to how you can convert and a lot more hands-on stuff. We'll get the feedback from the community and then have a separate session on that. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
before we go ahead, PPK, I would like to ask everyone, anyone has any questions for Abhilash and team or Bharat? We have few minutes left, so please jump in and ask your questions. Actually, I have a question for Abhilash if no one's asking. Okay, cool. Abhilash, you there was an option with an offline SSD wherein you upload the bundle to SSD to analyze. So is it like you can give old logs to SSD and kind of new logs to SSD to do the comparison as well? I mean, what's the exact feature wherein you give the you upload the bundle to an offline SSD? Abhilash there?
I think Abhilash might be on mute. So,
Yeah, am I not audible?
Yeah,
yeah,
you're audible
Abhilash,
now.
now you are audible
Okay.
now.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute there.
Because
So,
this feature is pretty interesting, that upload bundle
yeah.
on a yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I can fill in. So the understanding is it doesn't do comparison. So you have a set of logs. It will only debug or diagnose only that particular logs, right? There's no comparison here. That is one piece of it. Now, why is this, offline log bundle useful is we had some customers requesting us asking, I don't want SSD to be inside, my actual production data center. I want it to be outside somewhere in maybe in a management node or somewhere else. And then I want, logs to be offloaded from there. No, I don't want SSD directly connecting, over a network and then having, logs being pulled. But I need an offline set of work to be done where logs can be pulled. Either now we introduce a feature through FTP site as well. So it can be dumped into an FTP location where SSD can pull in that log and then diagnose and then give you the analysis, or the admin can just pull the logs offline, put it in his local machine, and then get the analysis done there also. So it's just that
And
you don't need SSD in the production setup. I can still get that working.
Yeah. No, that's a good one actually. Very good feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, people in
Sorry, Krishna, you
ANC.
had
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Generally, I mean, if I upload the log bundle, say not a large log bundle, say one particular host, How long should I wait for the analysis to complete and populate the
So I don't know
generally?
if
I'm
you
not,
folks,
yeah. Mhm.
sorry, so I don't know if you folks noticed during the demo, I think by the time I finished the first thing, the deployment and the analysis for that particular host was completed.
Okay,
Now, yeah, so it'll hardly take 2 to 3 minutes, not beyond that.
got it.
Well, like I did see somebody's question there asking that is this AI based system? It is not, right? It knows it has a set of signatures that it is aware of, and it is matching the logs with those signatures. So your accuracy is 100% in terms of what signatures it has, and then it looks at that and then it says, okay, here's the solution for you. So in terms of the report execution is much more faster in that way, where AI can become much more slower because you're talking about probabilities there, right? So this is matching to what the problem is and then giving you the solution right away. So it's much more faster. Nitin, sorry, you wanted to add something here?
I think that you covered it well, right? So that's the intention. The intention is to, right, give you a quick diagnosis, right? To identify what we already know, right? Because there is, I means there is no AI kind of thing over there. It's very straightforward and simple. The intention is so that customer doesn't go ahead and keep wondering like where the issues and what the issues, right? That's the beauty of it, right? Because once it starts failing, you will see that there are lots of error around, right? And how as an admin you will nail down on that particular one. Yeah, this is something I need to concentrate on. It becomes very hard. That's where this tool becomes very handy, right? You don't need to go here and there. If tool is able to detect the signature, it can tell you, hey, this is the issue, go ahead, fix it, and you will be good to go, right? That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, good one.
I hope
Thanks.
that answers the question, Prasanna.
Yep.
Yep. Anyone else before we conclude the session? I think that's it. Okay, cool. Before we go ahead, just few things about VMUG here. As you can see, if you'll go to vmug.com, you can see all the events here. I can see Chandigarh VMUG. So registration is pretty simple. Some of you, if you haven't registered for the event, please do the registration, because after the session, we'll do a review and we'll select one of you for the VMUG Advantage giveaway. So please do the registration there. Apart from that, I mean, based on our experience from VMware Explore India, we created a kind of a video out of it. So if you are more keen to know, I mean, about VMware Explore India, you can watch all those sessions there, pre-recorded sessions from all the featured speakers. And I'll be attending VMware Explore Las Vegas this year, so we'll be sharing something similar very soon in next few months. Apart from that, VMUG Chandigarh also got an opportunity to record a VMUG session on a unexplored territory with Frank Denneman and Duncan Epping. So that was a very good session with Johan. And if anyone's more keen to know what's VMUG, how we do, how we play all these roles across globe, feel free to kind of listen to these podcasts on Spotify, Apple, or online. So yeah, that's it about VMUG. But anyone, I mean, both sessions were really nice. So anyone have any feedback around SHD or vSphere Plus, please share your feedback with myself, Prasanna. And if required, we can ask for more kind of detailed session or any kind of support from our VMware guys. All right.
Right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Abhilash. Thanks, Rajneesh and Nitin, Bharat. This was really great. We got a lot of insights as to what's SHD, and of course, we'll start using them, and we'll let you know how things go with that. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
team.
Thank you,
Again,
Prasanna. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot.
really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Cheers.